entrepreneurs from Angola, where it's 10:30, if I am not wrong. We have entrepreneurs as well from Somalia, Madagascar, and Ethiopia, where it is 12:30, and also in Lebanon it's 12:30. Nice to see that we have 16 entrepreneurs with us.
And by the way, Ruben,
yes, no, tell us. Crystal.
No, we're just hello to everyone. I'm sorry.
No problem. Good to see Mihanta, Sahondra, Olivia, Anna, Juanapita, Elina, Hawa, Ketura, Shamsa, Hanta, Meron. Let's wait for 1 minute more to give time to maybe other entrepreneurs to join us and start with this first session. Let me share my screen. Let me see if I can. Okay. So we have, I think we are all here, or almost all of us. So let's start. Good afternoon, dear entrepreneurs from Ethiopia, Madagascar, and Somalia, and good morning still for those dear entrepreneurs in Angola. As mentioned before, it is a pleasure to be with you today after our previous exchanges by email and the introductory session we had some weeks ago about the BIC Africa Acceleration Program for Female Entrepreneurs, the second edition. And well, most of you are already in contact with your mentors and starting the mentoring sessions. Some other have not yet been connected, but they will be connected in the coming days. Some of them have been connected today, some others will be connected in the coming days. And on the other hand, we will start soon with the coaching sessions that will be organized around the specific sectors to which you belong. And we will kickstart as well a series of networking sessions with the idea of providing you with the opportunity to connect among yourselves and explore common challenges or potential collaborations. So mentoring sessions, coaching sessions, networking sessions, and today we are starting the online training sessions on specific areas that were remarked by you as of interest to receive capacity building. Well, the first of these sessions we will organize until September, 8 sessions to be organized until September, will be on marketing and marketing strategies. We have detected with my colleagues Francis Omoroye and David Dagnew, who are working in organizing all this BIC Africa program for female entrepreneurs. We have detected that most of you declared during the needs assessment survey to struggle with the go-to-market strategy and how to communicate your value proposition to your target market. Some difficulties or some needs to improve in the area of marketing. And so the session today will cover areas such as market research, customer acquisition, customer retention, and the strategy for communication of the communication of your value proposition to your target market. And to tell us about this, which, of course, about this topic, you can also have discussions with your mentors during the individual sessions. We have today with us Christelle Khalil, who's the programs director at BIC, an organization member of EBN providing support to entrepreneurs and startups in Lebanon. For them to be created, to be consolidated, and to scale up. So I would like to say hello and welcome to Christelle Khalil, who is today accompanied by Jessica Gawi, also from BIC. As I mentioned, Christelle is the programs director of BIC, where she manages the project labs unit that is responsible for the design, development, fundraising, partnership development, and management of innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic development programs at national, but also at international level. Christelle has more than 13 years of experience in the field of communication, entrepreneurship, and innovation, and helping entrepreneurs through coaching and advisory activities in communication strategies, business models, marketing, etc. So I guess Christelle is one of the key experts to cover the topic of today's session, the one focused on marketing and communication. So I will not use more of her time, and I will let you interact and learn from her. Christelle, it's over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ruben, for the introduction. And I will just share my screen to make sure that.
Yes.
Yes. So. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So again, hi, Ruben. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you in this program, in this session, and to meet all the women entrepreneurs that are part of this great programs, and get the chance to interact with them and present this presentation. So this was prepared by me and Jessica, my colleague. We're both also mentors. We're going to interact with women entrepreneurs part of this program. So I will not introduce myself. Ruben, thank you for the introduction. I will start the session, and we'll get to know more about you also during the session. Just to tell you that I will share insights today about go-to-market, and marketing for startups, for the ventures. And along the way, if you have any question, if you feel you want to share any example, please feel free to intervene at any time. Okay, so this is interactive. It's to share thoughts, ideas, experience, and be able to support you with your go-to-market strategies. So before, Ruben, just confirming, can you see my full screen, right? Yeah, okay. So before starting, okay, I just want to talk a bit. So you're all women entrepreneurs. So I just want to hear from you one word. Why are you entrepreneur? So if someone would like to share their thoughts of why you are entrepreneur, why you are creating your own ventures. Anyone wants to share insights about why they are creating their own ventures?
Mihanta? Yes, could you let us know?
Yes, as a princess and as entrepreneur woman, it's to change my country and to develop and to bring progress in humanity.
I love your statement, and really it shows the passion, the value you want to create in your country, in your community, and this is all about being an entrepreneur. So it's having really this long-term vision to change positively, to create impact, to take some risk and make it happen. And it's a hard work, but it's full of passion and amazing impact on the community around us. So it's very good to remember, before going technical in the work that you do, really why you are doing it. And you are so lucky because you have the opportunity to start your own venture, to create your own impact, and to be part of this program. So I hope you're going to get the best out of it and really change and grow your ventures and create impact in your countries. So before moving ahead, so what are we talking about today is basically something very important, okay? So it all starts with an idea. So probably you're offering a specific product, service, you're creating products and services in many sectors, whether agriculture, cosmetics, food and beverage, whatever you are doing, it all starts with a great idea, right? But the thing that we are going to talk about today is basically the go-to-market strategy. So whatever idea or product or service you have, the most important part is to really get it out in the market in the right way and reach your customer and be able to sell and retain your customers, because this is what will create the venture and sustain it. So if you don't have the right product market match, your venture will not last. So it's very important to really define the right strategy to go out to the market and launch your new venture or your new product, or even if you have an existing venture and you're looking to introduce a new product in the market, you have to have the right go-to-market strategy. And this is what we are going to talk about today. So I just want to ask also another question. I would like to invite maybe two entrepreneurs to share. So in few words, what, if you can tell us, what are you offering and what is the most efficient? Can I ask someone to mute their mic? Maybe you're hearing background. So I just want, please, someone to tell us, what are you offering and what's the most efficient marketing tool you are using? Like very, very shortly, just to get to know a bit of your ideas. So who would like to share?
I guess Olivia had raised her hand before. Olivia, would you like to share with us what are you offering and what is the most efficient marketing tool you are using? Hi, Olivia. We can
Hello.
hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay, what we are offering, a natural product with moringa, and our slogan is the moringa otherwise. So maybe we eat here in Madagascar the moringa like leaves for a soup, but with moringa we transform the moringa into powder to make it with other products like cacao, like cocoa, like the powder of many fruits, so that everyone can eat the moringa otherwise.
Great. So it's about highlighting the health benefits of the moringa. But what was the most efficient marketing tool you ever used till now? So what worked? How did you promote it in a way that really worked, showed you result? Can you give us an example? What did you do? Is it on social media? Is it posters? So what did you do to promote your product and basically it worked?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we have used the social media and the magazine to promote the moringa otherwise.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing your experience. So today we're going to talk more about this. How are we promoting and what works, how to select, how to define the strategy. Before moving ahead, I'm sharing a small quote that I like to share. Don't find customers for your products, find products for your customers. So basically, what does this mean? This is very important because when we start ventures, we are always excited about our ideas and how we want to develop our product and services. But it's very important to really always start with the customers, okay? And build our product according to the customer's expectation and not only our expectation. So the more you understand who are your customers, their needs, etc., the more you will be able to better adapt your product up to their expectation and the strategy and sustain your venture. So it's very important to recall that it always starts with identifying and understanding the customer. I'm going to talk a bit about the process of go-to-market, okay, and also if you have any question at any time, reminder to share it with me. You can also talk in French, so if you want to share in French, also happy to take your questions in French. So the go-to-market process, it's basically very simple. It's launching my product or service to the market, okay? So it's the steps I'm going to use to reach my client, sell my client, and retain my client, okay, in order to make profit and sustain my venture. So it all starts by understanding my target customer. And I'm going to talk about all these steps later in my slides in more details. So basically, who are my customers? Okay, and we're going to talk more about identifying who are my customers. So you have to be very specific to understand all their needs, their profiles, to be able to really adapt your offering up to their expectation. When I identify my customers and I know their needs and basically I know if my product match their needs or not, I start by looking out there in the market, who are other people, other organizations offering similar products to mine, whether directly or indirectly. And this is where you need to do your competitive research. So you need to identify 2 or 3 competitors in the market. Also, competitors can be direct or indirect, who are offering similar solution to you. You need to see what they are doing well and what is the gap, because you need to identify and confirm and redefine, if you want, your value proposition according to the positioning you want to have in the market. So we define who are our customers, who are the other players offering the same product, what is missing to really confirm and define our unique positioning in the market. Because the whole purpose of creating a venture is really adding value to my customer, being different in my customer in the market and changing their lives. And you have to always have the answer of why the customer should come and buy from you and not other people. This is why you need to stand out, you need to be unique, and you need to be really offering a great value for your customer. So after looking at who are my customer, identifying your competition, revisiting your value proposition, this is where you know how to basically reach your customer. And this is where we choose our go-to-market tactics. So what are the channels we are going to use to make our product available in the market and be able to communicate about it and advertise about it? Then you have to implement your campaign, monitor and see what works, how to adjust along the way and monitor the results. And here, this is where you start interacting with your customers, you start selling, you start retaining your customers and generating profit. And once you validate your model in the market, this is where you are ready to scale and expand and conquer other markets, okay? So this is what we're gonna talk about today. This is the process. And along the way, there is a very, very essential element that you really need to keep always part of your venture, whether you are a startup or an SME or you're growing a venture. It's called market research. So it's very, very important to do constantly a market research. Also, we're going to talk about it today to see basically what's happening, okay? What's happening to interact with the customer, what is changing. And I would like to remind you a bit about the COVID, okay, the crisis that we went through that affected everyone, the global crisis of the COVID, how does that change the customer behavior, got us new trends, new market opportunities. So it's very essential to keep doing market research and adapting your business model along the way. This is very, very important for you to succeed and cope with any changes in the market. So like I said, we start by understanding our target market, okay? First, I need to know about my market. So which market I am addressing? Is it the cosmetic market, the food market? What's the industry size? What are the trends in this country, the regulation, the technology trends that can help? What's the culture that I have to integrate in my strategy? How do they like to take care of themselves? How do they like to eat? Which food they prefer? All those questions related to demographics, industry, the technology environment and trends that we need to know, the culture, even the international trends, what's happening in my field. It's very important to know about my market, okay? Is it the cosmetic market, the food market, the oil market, the moringa market? So what are really the trends? Who are the competitors? Who are my customers? What do they like? What's happening? What are the regulations that I need to consider? The marketing trends, etc. So we start by assessing the market. Then we start at looking in particular in dig deeper in our target segment. Okay, I like this picture a lot. Okay, because it shows you that it's very simple. So the go-to-market strategy and the marketing is very simple. In one scenario, when you really put yourself in your customer's shoes, okay? So it's not what you want or what you see right only. It's about your customer. You really have to step out from your own thoughts and the way you do things, and really put yourself in the shoes of your customers. Try to be at their shoes, try to understand their beliefs, their behavior. What do they want? Interact with them, go ask them. This is where market research comes. So it's not about assumption or really guessing. No, it's very simple. I go, I define my target market, I observe, I analyze the data, I do research, and I do surveys, etc., to interact with them and understand what they like, what they want. And once I do this, my strategy will be very simple because it will simply follow the behavior of my customer. Okay, so in order to get to know my customer, I need to define their profile, their women, their men, the age bracket, in which region they live, what's their average income, what are their values. So the why is very important. So I have asked you, why did you start your company? The why is essential in anything that we do. So you have to ask yourself, why would they buy your product? What are their motivations? What are their beliefs? What changes they need in their life, and you can transform and create changes thanks to your product or service. What's their lifestyle, their culture, what do they like, which media they are connected to. For example, if I'm targeting university students, I'm talking more about trendy social media channels, trendy cafe shops, and so on. If I'm targeting old segment of people, I need to tap more into magazines, so I really need to follow the lifestyle of my customer, how much they are willing to pay, basically how do they pay, is it online, is it cash, is it and this depends on country regulations, on the trends, on the habits. So when do they buy, where do they buy, because the distribution channels, you're going to place your product where your customer is available. So it can be also virtual distribution channels like e-commerce website. So where and when they need my product. So all these questions are very essential to identify your customer. And I'm going to share some tools that you can use basically to be able to define to understand more and dig more into identifying your customer persona. So you can draw an empathy map, for example, and see what do they say about their product, what do they think, what do they feel, what do they do about their behavior. So the more you write criteria, and the more you will be able to evaluate, assess their needs, their perception, their feedback, and adjust your product accordingly, okay? And again, this is done through research, through interaction with them. We're going to see this also more. You can develop customer personas. Customer persona, it's like a template that represents basically the type of the customer that you will be targeting, okay? So for example, here, Jill, she represents a target customer for a company, okay, a women segment, but she represents, so I draw her persona to be able to really understand, give a personality to my customer segment. And this will help me define more the best marketing tactics, the tools, if I know what's her personality, her age bracket, her lifestyle, the brands that she uses, are they luxurious brands or trendy brands or fashion? Is she a fashionista? Does she like technology? What motivates her? So these are some examples. For example, this is a persona for a mid-senior professional, okay, working in a company, and I'm giving him like a persona to identify what's his basically job responsibility, what are the methods of communication he uses, what's his basically what the lifestyle of his business. So if you're selling something that is B2B, business to business segment, like you're selling for companies, it's important to assess your business customer persona. And for example, this is another persona that I found that represent a client for Starbucks coffee, so a coffee lover. So when we say Starbucks, for example, they have, it's a coffee shop, and there are million coffee shops in the markets, right, globally. But what makes Starbucks different is that they target a specific target segment, mainly university students. So if you see, they adapt their pricing, their decoration in the shops, the flavors of their coffees, the lifestyle, the advertisements they do, you know, the mood they create, the setup for people to come and study and network and take coffee together. So it all follows the lifestyle of their customer persona. Okay, so this is another example that I can show you. So that's it for the customer. So it's very important really to identify who are your customers. Okay, so this is the starting point in order to understand how to draw your go-to-market strategy. The second step, like I told you, you have to research your competitors, okay? So basically, who are the direct or indirect competitive products or solution or services out there in the market? When I say in the market, I'm saying the market that you are targeting, okay? Can be your local market, can be your regional market. So it really depends on the target market you have. You need to be able to choose your top competitor, for example, 3 to 5 competitors. You need to select them, okay? You need to define your comparison criteria. Like, for example, based on what criteria I will compare myself to the competition to see what they are doing versus what is missing and where do I stand in this analysis. When we say benchmark, it's really assessing where you are, where you stand versus the competition. Are you better? Do you need to improve anything? And I'm going to show you tools that will help you define your competitive analysis. Then once you define your competitor and the criteria you are going to use, you need to collect the data and analyze it. You need to see what is missing and what is the gap that you can basically solve, okay? Because like I said, you need to be different, you need to be innovative, you need to create value, else you will not sustain. So you need to ask yourself why your customer will buy from you, okay? And not from the 10 other brands in the market. This is a tool that you can use. There are many ways to assess and define basically your competitive analysis and your competitive advantage, like unique positioning in the market. This is a simple tool where you can list the factor that you are going to use to compare. For example, are you comparing the products, the price, the quality, the service, how do they do customer service, the digital marketing channels they have, the method of payments, the location, do they have a good coverage in the market? Are there more, for example, in busy places, or so where do they distribute their product or service? What is missing? How can I be different? Okay, all this will help you identify your strengths and your weakness versus your competition. Okay, and when you go back to your product and service and your customer profile, this will help you identify your unique positioning in the market. And this is the baseline that we use to define our slogan, okay? So when a brand has a slogan, the slogan is like 2-3 words that explains why the brand exists, okay? The vision and the mission of the brand. This is based on the unique positioning that you want to create in the market. So why, if I remember your brand or your product or your service, what makes you unique? So this whole exercise is about identifying your unique positioning in the market, which is the baseline of setting your marketing or go-to-market strategy. These are some examples of competitive analysis and tools and the way brands are doing it. For example, we go back to the Starbucks case. In this case, they are basically using the main criteria of coverage, distribution coverage, okay, and the number of stores, the number of countries covered. So, and they are benchmarking and comparing themselves with global presence and with regional presence. Who are the coffee shops out there? How many stores they have? To be able, this will help them identify, okay, what market they can tap into, what market are mostly interested in Starbucks. There are most likely people will buy from Starbucks. There are not, what makes Starbucks different in those countries versus others? How can I address this country knowing that I have Dunkin' Donuts, I have other brands? So this is one way to do it, okay? And based on this, I can know really where to set my new shop, for example, or my new distribution channel for Starbucks. So this is one way to do it. This is an example. Another way to do it, for example, is allocate brands based on criteria. So I pick, for example, here 2 main criteria, fashion and comfort, okay, which is basically the reason why people would buy these brands. They seek for comfort and for fashion. And I start placing my brand from positive to negative. So which brands offer most comfort to their clients? Which brands are most perceived to be fashionable for their clients? And this helps me identify where the competitive brands stand, okay? And where can I place my brand and build my strategy to be different and to add value to my customer, okay? Another example also to compare yourself versus, for example, if you're tapping into digital marketing and you want to launch your go-to-market digital strategy, okay, it's very important to assess also your competitive brands and to see what are the social media channel they are using and what's the results, what's the status. This is very easy, by the way, with social media. So with analytics, with the social media page, with the Facebook analytics, all the tools that digital networks can give us and the transparency, you can really see what works and what not, okay? What's the level of engagement, what's the level of share, of likes, the type of comments. This will help you understand also how the customers interact with brands, okay? What is working, what's best for you to base your strategy on this. Okay, so it's very important to do this, to learn also for other brands, from other brands, what works and what can be better. So we identified our customers, okay? We identified our competitors, and we could assess what makes us different to position ourselves. This is where we need to go back to our product or service and revisit our value proposition. Value proposition is really what I'm offering to my customer, or what's the product, what's the service that I'm offering, and what is the added value that I'm giving to my customers. So in order to redefine my value proposition, and based on the segmentation of my customers and the competitive analysis that I did, okay, like I said, we need to identify the unique positioning in the market, and this is how accordingly we build our value proposition, and we start building the go-to-market strategy. So that I wanted to share with you, it's called the value proposition Canva. So it's the link, if you want, between what you are offering and what your customer wants. So after the study that you did for your customer, to be able to assess who are your customer, what do they want, what do they need, how do they behave, and so on, you match it with your product, okay? And this is where you need to align and make sure that you enhance your product or your service based on your customer persona, based on your customer profile, in order to redefine your value proposition. So what's the value proposition, and how can I define the value proposition? Basically, the value proposition, it simply describes what is the solution that you're offering and how you are adding value to your customer, okay? So what makes it unique? I offer this product or this service. What makes it unique versus the other competitive brands in the market? And to be able to describe what makes us unique, I need to really identify what are the benefits and the characteristics of my offering, okay? So am I different and unique because I offer better prices, because I tap into novelty, I offer something innovative? And by the way, when I say innovation, it doesn't mean you're inventing something new from scratch. No, it means you can take, I don't know, a bottle of water and do, for example, a new eco-friendly package for the water. That would be innovation. It's taking something that exists and making it better, making it different, okay? Is it, for example, am I different because I offer accessibility and convenience to my customer? For example, in COVID-19, what really boomed, I think, in all countries was the e-commerce, right? And what was the differentiation was basically offering accessibility and convenience to the customer, like reaching sending my product or service or whatever the solution I want to offer right to their home. They can pay directly, whether online or cash, and everything is delivered to their home, so they are safe and so on. So the accessibility and the convenience were something that made value propositions unique for customers, because healthcare and you know, those priorities were part of the COVID context. Is it different because of the design, because of the packaging? For example, if I'm offering food products that are healthy, that are addressing, for example, the diet segment, people who want to do diet or want a healthy lifestyle, it's very important that the package shows this and communicates the information that customers want to seek. I don't know, the calories, the food ingredients. So the packaging is very important in this case. The design of my product or service, and the more it's user-friendly, you know, the more it's visually, the brand is nice, it talks, it creates emotional connections with the customer, and the better it will be successful. The quality, the performance, and I want to talk also about the customization. So customization is really giving a very personalized experience to your product or your service. So the more you really address the needs of Christelle, or what I like, or Ruben, or the better you'll be, you have chances to sell and sustain your customer. So customization can be, for example, on the level of service. For example, what makes a bank different than another bank? Okay, all banks, they sell credit cards and debit cards and so on, and accounts. So what makes it different is basically the customer service. The more it's personalized and it's quick and it's easy and it changed my life, the better I'm going to select this bank. So this is to give you. On the level of products, for example, we can talk about the mobile applications. So for example, all the mobile applications, maybe also the features suggested on the mobile applications or on Facebook or on Instagram, they are all based on your unique behavior, what you like, what you don't like. So they offer you customized advertisement, customized features based on what you really want. So customization is very important. So this is how I improve my value proposition when I consider really what makes me unique. And these are the criteria you can use or refer to be able to say, what are you offering and what makes you unique? What's the value you're offering to your customer? This is an example of a value proposition. So do you know Zomato? So if you know Zomato or you don't know Zomato, the value proposition of Zomato, it's basically a one-stop shop for it. So it's a platform that connects customers to all the food restaurants on one platform and deliver the food they order to their home. Okay, so what makes Zomato different? What's their value proposition? And if you want, we can just look at the value proposition and the customer segment, okay? Because the value proposition is really related to the customer. So the customer segments, users who look for restaurants of various cuisines, they prefer home delivery. They seek to the lifestyle of those customers is basically home gatherings, looking to deliver food they like, so they are foodies and so on. So what would be the value proposition? It's a one-stop shop for food lovers, okay? So it's very simple. It describes the solution. And why is it unique? It's unique because it's a one-stop shop. So you have all the menus, all the restaurants on one platform. So it's very easy for you to select any cuisine you want. Okay, and for food lovers, so already from the value proposition, we can understand who are the segments, who are the customer segments. And by saying one-stop shop for food lovers, they already are attracting their customer segments, okay, which are basically foodies. So they bridge the gap between customer and restaurant with a powerful application. So Zomato also stands out by the user experience of their mobile application, which allows basically to rate, to check reviews, and simply order food home. So this is a simple example to, if you want, inspire you to really define your value proposition. And next time we also have another session with you. I would love to hear from you basically your value proposition. So what are you offering and why is
I see Christelle frozen. I guess there's a problem with the connection. Let's wait for Christelle.
I don't know where I stopped.
Hi, Christelle.
I don't know how many.
1 minute ago.
1 minute ago, I was talking alone. Okay, so basically on the value proposition, just to confirm.
Yes.
Okay.
Not in that one, not this slide.
Zomato?
Zomato, yes.
Did you hear what I said?
You've been speaking about Zomato like for some minutes. only the final minute was missed.
Okay. So I was just saying that basically for next time, because we have another session with you as well, it would be great, based on what I'm saying, to identify basically what is your value proposition. So what are you offering and what makes it unique? Okay. So now we have identified who are the customers, who are the competitors, what makes me unique, and what is my unique value proposition. This is the right time to build your go-to-market tactics. So now I understand what will I use to go to the market, launch my product, promote my product, engage with my customers, be able to sell and retain my customers. So this is the main objective of today's session, and to sustain your venture basically and grow it. So by the way, do you have any question? Does anyone have any question? Feel free to really jump in anytime. So
yes, we mentioned at the beginning that we'd like to make this session as interactive as possible. So feel free to raise your hands or post questions on the chat. And well, let's use Christelle's knowledge to improve our businesses or to find responses to some of our doubts or questions. Feel free at any time during the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Ruben. So basically go to market. So which are the marketing and communication channels and activities and strategies that I'm gonna use based on all the previous things I mentioned, okay? So this is where I need to identify basically the strategy and the channels for my products, price, place, and promotion. So on the level of my product, okay, what am I offering? So I need to really identify my product strategy. What are the characteristics of my product? What's the packaging? What's the branding that I'm doing that reflects the slogan, the logo, the website? So what the positioning? How do people use it? What's the design of my product or service? So this is how I build my strategy, the product strategy or service strategy. Then I need to tackle the place. So basically where I'm going to make my product or services available for my customer, where they will find me physically or virtually. And this also follows the lifestyle of my customer. So, and here I can talk about for example, going back to the Starbucks case, when we say the place and the distribution strategy. So one, it starts by the physical location of the place. Two, by the decoration, the experience, the merchandising, the whole experience of the physical experience of my product. And if it's virtual, okay, so if I have an e-commerce website, the same experience should be reflected on my website. So how are my products displayed on the website? How can people find my product on the website? The level of information they want, the content, the branding. So it can be virtual as well. We also need to work on the pricing strategy. Like to set up a pricing strategy, okay, we need to take into account many criteria. So we need to take into account how much my customers are willing to pay for my product. And this depends on their purchasing power, the competition's prices. And so I need to see also what are the other prices out there in the market. Also, it depends on my strategy. Do I want to offer a luxurious product or make it accessible for a lot of people? Because the more I'm luxurious, the more the price will be higher for sure. And the more I want to sell a big quantity of products, the more I need to decrease my price. So it all depends on the strategy. And for sure, I take into account my cost and my profit. So there are a lot of criteria to set a price for my product or service. And it's very important to ask yourself here also, what are the methods of payment? Okay, is it online? Is it cash? Is it credit? Is it I don't know, discounts? So anything related to the method of payments, also it's important to understand it here. On the level of promotion, this is where we're gonna talk mostly today. So what are the communication channels that I'm gonna use? What are the advertising tools and channels? What is the interactive experience I want to create for my customers? Where will I be present to engage with them? Will I do events, sponsoring, viral marketing, videos? We're going to see this in details. So here it's important just to reflect that to be able to set your strategy, you need to define your tactics and your strategy for your product, your price. Where are you placing your product and how are you talking about it and promoting it? So basically, I'll give you some example of marketing channels. Okay, so what are the marketing channels that you can potentially use? You can use, of course, digital channels, like anything related to internet marketing, whether launching your website with a strong search engine optimization, having your newsletter, and if you have like a good customer database, you start building relationship with them by online, by sharing information about your product, the latest offers, news about your community. So newsletter is a very important way to engage with your clients. If you're selling online, for example, and you want to provide online assistance, you can see the live chat features in many websites, podcasts, webinars, blogging. So basically, this is very important. So engaging with bloggers, posting a good content is very, very important for you to run your digital marketing campaigns. You can do webinar, for example, talking about the health benefits of your product, educating people, and indirectly promoting your product or service accordingly. So there are many ways to share information. It's all about who are your customers, what they are interested in, and how can I be different in the market from other competitors. Okay. Of course, we have the social media channels. Here we talk about Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and by the way, in COVID, if I want to talk specifically in COVID, you can see the rise of the video advertisement, okay, and YouTube and TikTok, and so really social media is part of our daily life. It all depends about the segment you are targeting, in which media they are connected to. So basically, if you're targeting business people, you're going to talk more on LinkedIn. If you're targeting more fashionistas, they are more on certain channels. Gamers, tech people, they are. So it's really important to understand who are your customers, what do they like, and this differs from a country to another. For example, you can see trends in a certain country. Okay, people are mostly interested in Facebook, so I'm going to use Facebook more. Or other country, people are more on, I don't know, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. So it really depends on the trends also of your countries. Physical marketing, it's related to basically traditional marketing, like the poster, the signage. Also, we can see now interactive signage, like using, instead of putting roll-ups in event, we see screens with interactive 3D animation to feature your product. So the more you are trendy, the more you are engaging with your customer, and the better you will have a different presence when you are really promoting your product or service. The packaging, the brochures, the flyers, and now here, I just want to say, to highlight the eco-friendly best practices. So in marketing now, people are using a lot of eco-friendly practices, like reducing the prints, going more digital, you know, highlighting the messages that are friendly to the environment, that are close to being socially responsible. So it's very important also to see the kind of messages you are sharing. And the more you are engaging with your customer, you interact, the better it is. Paid advertisement, of course, we can have the digital paid advertisement and the traditional paid advertisement, whether billboard, print ads in newspaper, TV ads, social media ads, etc. Public relation, I just want to stop here and say that public relation is really essential, especially for startups, because it's when you have strong public relation, when you engage well with the media, you have a very strong network of partners, you have amazing content to share on social media, which will make it viral and make people know about it, and you know, grow your network. So anything that has anything that helps you grow your network is really important. Robert, you have a question? Robert, you have your hand raised.
Yes, Robert, team leader of BIC Africa, because he has a question for Christelle. Robert, do you want to share with us? Yes.
Hi, Christelle. I think you can hear me now.
Yes. Hi, Robert.
Yeah, hi, good to see you. Yeah, my question, and I've had the discussion with quite a few founders of companies, especially when you start. Obviously, it's quite time consuming to do like all the social media and some of the public relations. And some people find they have challenges because they're spending more time doing that than perhaps other aspects of their business. So do you have any advice on how we can sort of, all of us, prioritize in terms of which social media channels should we be focusing on, or which public relations, if we're a little bit constrained on time, because obviously we've got other things to do trying to run our business? Thank you.
Yes. So building on what you're saying, it's true. So especially when founders start their venture, so it's mainly a one-man show. They are doing everything, so they don't have time to manage all of this for sure. I would say it's very essential to start by building a very strong brand, like logo, landing page, and really putting the engagement features with the customer. So the more we leverage on technology, and the better it's easy to have my branding presence in the market and my promotional material featured on my website, social media, and so on. The number two, so the strong branding is key. Of course, with a very good product or service. Number two, I would really talk about prioritizing the content. So the more they do a good content strategy, meaning how they write the description of their product, the description of their social media post, the videos they can do, and the better chances their marketing will run viral and be also cost efficient. So the more they do post that people would likely want to share with their networks and that create that viral effect, that would save cost and that would increase a lot of exposure. And I would really talk about the partnerships. So I think partnerships is key. Like I don't advise startups to do everything on their own. I really invite them to focus on what they do best and really have partners, media partners, outsourcing partners. The more they have partners, the more they will gain exposure and cross-selling from. So I would say strong branding, strong content on social media, and a very good baseline of partners. These are the three elements that I think are key for startups. And wherever they are, to have a good pitch also. You don't know who you can meet and when you can meet. So presenting well your product or service is essential. You are your own brand at the end. Sure, I don't know if I answered you. So these are my...
Yeah, that's very useful. I know obviously with startups, sometimes it's hard to make that first hire to get some support on marketing. So often founders are doing everything themselves. So it's always a bit tricky. That's great. Thanks for the answer. Thanks.
Thank you. And I would say build a story for your startup. So do not sell product or service, really build a story, show the vision of your startup, why you are doing it, how it's going to change my life. So the more you have an interesting story to tell to people, and the better they will engage. So I think the content is very important, and the branding. Okay, so now I want to hear from
another
you.
question, if I can, Christelle.
Yes, yes, Robert.
From Mihanta.
Yes, hello, hello.
Let me.
Yes.
We can hear you, Mihanta.
As you said, with COVID-19, it has raised e-commerce. And my question is, here in Madagascar, we are a big island, but it's an island. I mean, logistical costs have exploded. So it's really hard for us, to face this. And my question is, what to do in that case? Is it to get something, another place in Europe or somewhere else in Africa, but not here, only here. Physical place with your stocks like this. I don't know if whether it's clear or not. Is it clear?
Yes, I think I understood your question. I'm gonna tell you my answer. Tell me if it answered you or not. So basically, I think this is where adapting to the local context come, okay? So for example, you can use a strategy in Madagascar based on what is most cost efficient or what is easy to sell. But if your product is ready to scale to other markets, maybe you would use another strategy for other markets. For example, placing your product in certain distribution stores or so or if they have a logistic infrastructure that is easy, and maybe you can more sell online in this particular market. So it really depends on the local context. I think my answer would be, you need to adapt your strategy based on what is cost efficient and what works best in your country or the country that you're targeting. But my answer to you also is to test a bit in Madagascar. Okay, try to sell your product or service in the best way. Try to take feedback from your customer, and then after that expand. So you expand with a more clear strategy. So try to understand a bit how customer engage with you. What do they like? What's working?
And
I understand.
do not hesitate to explore these concepts with your mentor, who will be Christelle's colleague, Jessica.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
No, thanks to you.
So I have a question for everyone. Can someone share, for example, an example of an advertisement that got stuck in your head, that you really like, you saw recently and you really like, and tell me why you like it? Any advertisement.
Ketura Segunda from Angola.
Yes.
For example, do you remember any advertise you've seen recently that impressed you?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, I saw this advertisement from South Africa. They were advertising Cremora. I don't know if you've heard of Cremora before. They used an influencer to a social media influencer to advertise it, and how they made it in a sort of a comedy advertisement or something. The way she made it sound, it would want to make you want to buy the Cremora. It was so innovative, and you really want to taste it. You would be laughing at it, but it was just stuck in your mind in a way, because you really want to look for it when you get to the shop or something. It was really creative. I like the fact that they used somebody everybody knows, and the fact that everybody knows that person, they like her already, and the comedy in it plus the product that is also very good. So I think, yeah, it really stuck in my mind. I'm not in South Africa, but I think when I go, I want to buy Cremora when I get there. Yeah, that was really creative to me.
Thank you so much for sharing. So basically it was so one, using an influencer, which is someone that people relate to and have influence, and two, the kind of engagement they did. Anyone else want to share an example as well? What about you, Ruben, in Belgium?
I'm based in Spain, in the north of Spain. Now I'm traveling to Belgium in some occasions.
Spain, okay. Or in Spain, anywhere.
So let me think. Well, I guess one advertise that I have in my mind that it's not new. It was this of a brand, an automobile brand, where the hand of the driver was like, while driving, was doing like this, and the voice used to say, "You like driving? And if you like driving, you must buy our cars, because it's not a car, it's an experience."
Okay, yes, it's
I
yeah.
don't know if it was BMW, I guess.
So if I relate to your examples, I think we can say like it's about the feelings they engage, the emotional feelings and connection they can engage in the customers. So it's about, you know, the experience, the feelings, the taste, the desire. So this is important to note as well. I'm going to share, thank you, Ruben. I'm going to share some small examples that I found, that basically we found. Just some examples of Coca-Cola, which is a brand that everyone knows, just to tell you how the brand, for example, when customized. So the canettes here that you can see with your own names, so you can like buy Coca-Cola, have your name on it. This is an example of a product that used customization, using the names of the customers to promote and sell themselves. So this is to tell you, give you an example of customization. Another example is the taking into account, which is now very essential in anything that we do, the sustainable development goals and the environment priorities. So the more brands show responsible engagement towards their target client and really show care and responsibilities for all the SDGs concerns and values and challenges that we're facing, the better people also will connect with them and engage with them. This is a friendlier, so Coke to share version green, to say that they are basically supporting also the green and environment friendly values. Other examples, for example, how the brands adapted to COVID and using some quotes, like smart quotes, like for example, Coca-Cola saying staying apart is the best way to stay united, to say that they adapted to COVID. And KitKat, so usually the slogan of KitKat is have a break, have a KitKat. So they adapted it into have a break, have a lockdown. So these are simple examples that of some brands that we know. And just to tell you that it's very important for the brand to adapt to the lifestyle of the customer, okay? So I adapt to the context, whether COVID, whether the priorities of my customers. So it's very important to be one, creative, and two, to really follow the customer lifestyle, their priorities, and adapt to their needs. Basically, talking a bit, now we're going to talk a bit about digital trends and social media. So again, this to say in summary that you can, okay, I have million social media channels, but it's very important to assess which social media I'm going to use and based on what, and it all depends on my customers. So where they are present, which media are most trendy in this particular country. So it's very important to really select your channels, whether social media or any marketing channels, based on what works, what are the trends, and where are your customers. This is an insight that Jessica actually found to give you, for example, in Madagascar in particular, some trends. So it's very important. This is where research comes, okay? So it's very important to assess what works, what are the trends in a certain country. So based on these statistics, I can say that if I want to target Madagascar, I'd rather use Facebook, right? It's the highest percentage. So these are some examples to tell you that research is very important, and you have to base your strategy and the choice of your channels based on data, okay, which is very easy to do thanks to the internet and thanks to the research we can do. Another question for you. So what are the trends that you saw after COVID? For example, in marketing, in branding, in business, can someone give me an example of a change that they saw after COVID? Like, what is the new trend that, what's the new trend that you saw rising after COVID? We cannot hear you. You have to unmute yourself.
Let's see who wants to share with us. Lydia, maybe? Lydia Woldenit-Tinzai.
I see a comment on the chat about the move towards healthy products. I think that was certainly the case in some European countries. Yeah, there was a big interest and shift to purchasing, especially online, healthy products.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, true.
Any other comment? Huh?
I saw also a quote. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to see the chat while presenting my presentation. Now I see also another quote that was shared. Walt Disney, nous rendons les gens heureux. Oui, c'est simple et ça définit la vision de Walt Disney. So this is another example that was shared as a slogan that reflects the purpose of Walt Disney. So healthy products, yes. So people changed their priorities. They remembered, you know, the new. They not remembered, but they changed their priorities. They got attached to some old values. They revived, if you want, old values, attachment to nature, the importance of taking care of the environment, the health. Also, the lifestyle changed a bit, leveraging on technology, on you know, touchless features in many in the airport. Everything mainly is like touchless if I want to wash my hands. So hygiene features. So the priority change, the value change, and we can say that people and brands are becoming more and more socially responsible. Like, for example, making money and making impact is now go together, right? So the more I care about my customers, the more I care about, I am socially responsible, environmentally responsible. I care about the earth, the environment, the creating impact, and the better people will basically engage with me. We see a lot of rise about circular economy, using reusing waste, you know. So a lot of habits, a lot of values are now more important for customers. And speaking of technology, also technology changed a lot of business trends, whether events, whether education, whether health advisory with doctors. So even leveraging on technology, also a lot of brands went international, went regional, because they could use also the business communication tools like Zoom, like Teams, and so on, to run workshops online. So this opened a lot of opportunities. So if you want to like summarize it, we have to really reflect about the new now context post-COVID, which is basically look at the new priorities, the new habits, the new values for customers from the one hand. Number two, the new business models and the technology trend that we can leverage on to build our strategy. Okay, it's very important to reflect on this. And something like one tip I want to share based on the startups I engaged with during COVID. Really, I know that COVID was a crisis, but we should learn, because maybe other crises would come. What I can tell you is the more you have a linear business model, like a business model that is easy to manage, you know, and adapt, And the more you can adapt to changes, be proactive, and the better likely you are going to sustain and grow and succeed. So it's very important to adapt. It's very important to have a flexible business model, agile business model to cope with any change that can happen, like COVID or anything else. Okay, so some trends in 2022, this is to focus on new trends. Again, we see a lot of virtual augmented reality, digital events, content. Content is really number one tool. When I say content, it can be news, it can be what you write as description, it can be social media posts, it can be videos. So the more you have strong content, you invest in your content, and the more your marketing will go viral and will be most cost efficient and engage people. Automation, I would like to talk about artificial intelligence and automation, voice search, you know, also customization based on analytics. So I think all of you, while browsing on social media, you start saying, oh, this ad, I was thinking about this yesterday, I saw it today. So all the clicks that you do, all the experience that you have on social media, this is all tracked, analyzed, and all this targeting is based on it. So customization is very important. You can see a lot of, you know, robots chatting with you on e-commerce website, online advisory, and so on. I will not go a lot into this. I want to hear more from you now. But basically, this is to tell you that companies will, like I said, so will prioritize a lot of social responsibilities and SDGs. Marketing will be much more interactive, engaging with the customer using technology, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. Videos is really very important. And when we say video, it's more short and more, for example, including tutorials on to teach people how to do stuff or to share interesting stories, inspirational, brand storytelling. So it's about, again, sharing stories, sharing visions, testimonial, quick wins for people, updates, self-explanatory videos. This is, for example, in cooking, like everyone wants now is a chef in COVID or know how to do the things manually. It's all because of all the videos we have access to. So video is really a very powerful tool to use smartly to promote your ventures. On the level, this is again to say about the importance of content. So it's very important. The more you have a strong content, and the more you will invest less in paid advertisement. Okay, so the more people will share on them their stuff, and you create a viral effect, and the better impact you will have on social media. It's very important to engage with your community. I will talk a bit about because I'm also mindful. We have 10 minutes, Robert, or we can stay.
We can stay a bit more.
Okay, because I have a lot of slides, and I just want to hear from everyone as well. I'm trying to put like everything in 1 hour 30. So now we selected our go-to-market tactics. It's about acquiring and retaining customer. I will make it simple. I just want you to think, okay, when you build your social media or you open your shop or your restaurant, whatever business you do, you need to assess and define your touch point with your customers. Like, what are the channels that I have, okay, to engage with my customer? Is it direct contact in the shop? Is it newsletter? Is it social media post and engagement? Is it e-commerce website? Is it, engagement with my staff? Is it I'm present in an event? So why you need to be aware of the customer touch point, we called, or if you want, the channels where I interact personally or virtually with my customer. It's very important to identify those points to create a holistic branding experience, like to use the same messages, the same experience, and reflect a consistent image about your venture. And it's very important to engage with your customer, ask for feedback, basically ask for feedback, adjust, improve along the way, make them participate in your, sometimes I see brands doing, for example, focus groups with their clients to, if they want to launch a new product, and asking them insights to co-create this product, like taking feedback from their customers and basically encouraging them to share insights to build their product. So it's very important to hear from your customer, to ask them, to make them feel engaged along the way, to build a very strong relationship with them, because it's very important not only to sell, but to have a recurring customer and retain your customers. So this is a bit important to note also, that it always, your relationship with your customers always start with having them as leads, potential leads. So you start by targeting them. So you identify who are your potential customers, you start reaching out to them. The whole aim is to transform the leads from creating awareness, interest, intent, and then action and purchase, okay? And after purchase, keeping the relationship with them to retain your customers. So it's very important to understand this process, because this reflects on your content, on the way you engage with them, on your strategy. Okay, so it's essential to track. Tracking is very important. What's happening on social media? What works, what's not? How they are engaging, from where they are coming from. Like when you sell something, ask them, from where did you know about my product or service? Because you will build on this in order to launch your next campaign, okay? CRM is very important. CRM, it's a customer relationship management tool, software, process, whatever you want. The point is to collect database about your customer, engage with them, and really note all the history of your customer. Who is satisfied, their feedback, how much sales did I do, which item did I sell most, what is the profile of the people buying. So the more you have information about your customer and you track them and you keep track of them in a system, it can be simply Excel sheet. Doesn't have to be something complicated, but you need to keep track and you need to build database and you need to manage this database. This is a very big asset for startups. So you have to do regular surveys, reviews, like I told you. How basically we acquire customer. It's basically PR, being, so these are also things that I already named, but I will leave them for reference because I'm going to share the slides with you. Partnerships, so it's very important to see how will I acquire customer, where are they present, how will I engage with them, and what are the tools I'm going to use to engage with them and convert them into actual customers that are buying my product and even retaining them after that. So taking feedback after, etc. Of course, I think you already heard about these facts, so it's very important to, and it's much more cost efficient to retain customer than to have to acquire new customer. So this point here, just to tell you that it's very important to build relationship with your customer, to be their advisor, to keep satisfying them, to keep asking them, make them feel part of the experience. Okay, engage them in building your strategies, your product, your experiences, because it's much more smart and cost efficient to retain customer than acquire new ones. 2 slides about scaling, basically. So, like I told, if you go back to the Madagascar question and case, okay, you asked me about other markets. So my answer to you is, 1, pilot your venture in your own market, learn from it, take feedback, and then scale internationally and pick what works to scale and to see how to better scale. Usually the barriers or the obstacles or the things to consider before scaling, it requires money, right? Finance. It requires talent and skills and management. Access to market, so understanding the local market context and how to penetrate this market, the infrastructure I need, and the leadership and the capacity to scale, because it's not something easy. Now, so my first question would be, am I ready to scale? And when I be ready to scale, it's based on my experience. Okay, so I have to have a clear business model. I have to have really tested my product, built my minimum viable product, got feedback from my customer, got my minimum channels to start with, and then I'm ready to scale. Now, what are the key things to really keep in order to be ready to scale? One, you need to understand where are you scaling? So where are the opportunities? Which markets are interesting for me? What is the product that I want to scale, and who are the customers that I'm basically targeting? So it's the same logic of go-to-market, except here I really need to develop the right strategy that is related to the local market context, the local culture, the local regulations, the local trends. So I need to assess the local market. Then I need to leverage on technology. So the more I use technology platforms and technology tools to scale, and the easier it will be, and the most also cost efficient it will be. Can I do, I don't know, a landing page, an e-commerce targeting this country in particular, sell online, use the, so what kind of technology I can leverage and turn my service into an application, automate some features. So what are the services that the technology tools that I can use and leverage on to scale and promote my product properly and reduce my cost? Outsource the non-essential. This is very important. This goes with build the right partners. So if I want to, for example, offer my products in a certain country, can I outsource distribution? Can I partner with a distribution network? If yes, it would be much easier instead of me launching, distributing, and doing the whole logistics. So the more you can outsource logistics and really focus on the essential of your offering, the better it is. Marketing, of course, hire the right talent for sure. So I would say hiring the talents or bringing the right co-founder or building the right team is number one before the product, before the service. So I don't know if we still have time. I have some slides. We can show them next time, actually, just to tell you that whatever you do, because I shared a lot of information, I want you to keep them. So maybe the research and validation part, we can tackle it in the next session along with the partners, Ruben, if you don't mind, because I think it's too much information. But just to tell you that I will stop at this slide. I prepared some slides regarding market research and how you can do it. But whatever you do, whatever strategy you draw, whatever you are building or offering, you need to do research. You need to understand the reality of your market, what's happening outside. And there are a lot of tools that you can use to do research, mainly internet, social media, competition, etc. But also doing surveys, focus group interviews with your customer, with other experts, and so on. So it's very important, whatever you build, whatever you do, to be based on data, okay, and the reality of market. This is what I want you to keep. And now, so basically, those are our contacts. We're going to share the slides. And I want to hear from you some questions, any feedback.
Time for question, for feedback, for any specific challenge you are facing in this area and you'd like to share with Christelle or with the others. Now we have some time.
Do you want to share your own experience, your own so let us maybe have like a couple of minutes of really hearing from you and
yes, let's see if anyone wants to, well, share. Elena, Crystal has said one moment ago that it's key to find a partner, but how to find a partner who accepts to take risk with us. We are gonna speak about this during the next training session that will take place in 2 weeks, and will be focused on partnership development. But Christelle, if you want to say something now.
Actually, this will be covered also with Jessica mainly next session, also with me. But so one, you have to, my answer to you, you have to, can you tell me what you're offering? Just to give you like something concrete, can you tell me what is your product or service? Elina?
Elina, if you can let us know. Elina is working in the tourism sector as tourist guide,
Okay.
if I'm not wrong.
Okay, so, okay, number one, you need to basically build your case. Like you need to really identify what are the services you have, what are your prices, what is your strategy, what's your branding. So basically you need to build, you know, the minimum to approach the minimum presentation of your venture to be able to approach partners. Number two, you need to identify who are the partners I need. So if you have, for example, a tour agency, do you want to partner with other tour agents, with municipalities, with to encourage local tourism, with I don't know, travel agent from outside? You need to identify who do you want. Then you need to reach out with the right offer. Like you have to ask yourself, what's in it for him to partner with me? Okay, so it's different. Each partner have their own way to approach them. Okay, it's about identifying how would you add value to this partner. Are you, for example, if you partner with an international tourist agent to attract tourists to Lebanon, to your country, sorry, not to Lebanon. So, for example, would you offer local tours to this agent? Would you offer some tours that, for example, in this case, you would suggest to him, when you attract international tourists to the country, I will be able to offer those kind of tours that are local, and we can do revenue sharing, for example, for those tours. So, and this you will be, what's in it for him is that you are adding kind of services to his portfolio, and basically what you can do, if we're speaking about the approach to use, what you can do is, for example, prepare a local tour, okay, where you would invite your potential partners to be part of this tour. You would invite them for free as an invitation. You would show them the experience so they understand what you offer, your added value, and so on. So you have to be very well prepared. And as a follow-up, you can suggest for them what kind of partnerships you want to engage, you want to build with them, you know? So it's not like they will ask you who you are. You need to be prepared, okay? You need to have a presentation, a track record, something that you've piloted. Then they will ask you, what's in it for me? So why would I partner with you? You would need to show the added value that you're offering and how this can really add value to their business. So I don't know if I answered you, but we're going to see this more in details next time. How can I prepare good content from Somalia? Okay. Okay, good content. So before we used to say, for example, we used to sell our product. Like, I don't know, I'm selling this mobile phone. Come and buy my mobile phone. But now it's becoming about the stories. So it's becoming about, you have to ask yourself, what's interesting for my customer, okay? Is he interested to, for example, can you tell me maybe your idea if you want, or Ruben, if you can tell me Naima's idea from Somalia? Maybe
yes,
to help her.
She's working in a project to empower women and providing them with skills for being stronger as entrepreneurs.
Okay, that's amazing. So already you are working in something that you really can transform into stories and learning for women entrepreneurs. So basically you're selling, what you're offering is capacity building mainly, or services to empower women entrepreneurs. So you have to create content related to, not tell them, instead of telling them, I have this leadership training, come and attend, okay? You can create content, for example, invite entrepreneurs from your network to give testimonials about leadership, or how leadership skills are important to change my business. You can do like tips and tricks about leadership, small videos. So if I hear them on social media, I'm very much interested. And I would see at the end that if you want to learn more or grow those skills, engage in our upcoming training. You can also invite a small group of women to a free webinar or a free training. You can do a webinar, talk about the essence of becoming a woman entrepreneur, and then engage with them in Q&A, and then sell other trainings that you're doing. So it really depends on your business, and so how you can prepare good content. One, you need the content itself. So what are you talking about? So this needs to be interesting, learning, skills, inspirational, testimonial. So what are you talking about? Number two is the medium. So you have two choices. You can use write content, so do stories, social media posts, and so on, or videos. Or maybe invite success stories from Somalia, talk about their experience, and indirectly promoting your upcoming training to acquire those kind of skills.
Thanks, Crystal. And I guess Mihanta had a question. Mihanta, thanks for your active participation. And we love this type of interaction. So please go ahead.
Can I speak in French?
Oui.
Can I speak?
Oui, sûrement.
Donc, what I remember from all this training session is that it starts from an idea. This idea comes from yourself, from your soul.
I cannot
Could
hear
you
you.
separate a bit the microphone?
Sorry?
Yes.
So what I remember from this training is that everything is starting from an idea, and the idea belongs from the soul, your soul. And then you build the story of your brand. That means your story and your values and the deep of you. And then with marketing, then you make it, you project this center of you, the center of your soul, all over the world. I mean, in the customers and your, c'est-à-dire, on part du centre et après, on va à l'extérieur du cercle. Et le cercle est de plus en plus loin. Ou alors c'est local, ou régional, ou mondial. Et le marketing permet d'élargir le cercle, d'aller le plus loin possible. Mais le centre, c'est toujours vous. Donc, tout ce que je comprends maintenant, je viens de comprendre grâce à vous aujourd'hui, c'est que en fait, la clé, c'est vous. C'est à vous d'aller chercher, d'identifier, de faire les recherches de ce que vous voulez, de se mettre à la place des autres. Parce que
You quickly switch to French, Mihanta. Could you do this?
Yes, what I understand now is that it starts from you, and marketing make it come to the world. It's a kind of projection outside of the circle, as far as possible from your center. Is it clear?
Yes.
So yes. So this is really interesting, because that means every tool you give us today, it starts from ourselves. That means we have to learn from our customer. We have to make efforts to understand them. We have to come outside of our comfort zone. So it's really interesting, and I think I understand better how to face the future now.
Very happy to hear this. Just one thing that I want you to, one feedback based on what you're saying. What starts with you is basically why you are creating this venture, and your passion, and what you want to get out to the world, what changes you want to create. Yes. But in the marketing strategy, I want you to integrate more in your inner world your customer, okay? Because
Your
when we talk
customer.
about marketing, we're talking about the outside world. So we're not talking only about our passion. So the tricky part is how you will link your idea and what you really want to do, okay, to your customers. So this is where I go back to the slide that I showed you. Put yourself in their shoes. You need to detach. Il faut se détacher un peu de nos idées au début, se mettre à la place du consommateur, okay? You need to put your place in your customer shoes to understand from their perspective how they see your product. Do they really need it like this? What are the values that they want? So this is difficult for entrepreneurs, by the way, because they are so much attached to their own ways of doing things. So, but this is the key success to build the right marketing strategy. So what starts from within is the passion, the product that you want to offer, yes, but the marketing strategy starts from you have
customer,
to oui, le chemin à l'envers, le chemin à l'envers, et ajuster ton idée basée sur le consommateur.
It's clear. Thank you.
Another question, Christelle could explain more how to engage the customer, please. How to engage customer. Jessica, help me out. So basically, yes. So how to, because we have also slides on this. So how to engage the customer. Actually, it's very easy. Really, it's very easy. One, get to know them, get to meet them, talk to them. Two, it's about the whole experience from the first impression when you meet them, whether online or physically, how you engage with them, how you explain about your product, how your Jessica is not able to unmute herself, Ruben. Okay, so Jessica, if you want to share about yes, other insight about how to engage basically with customer, the surveys, the feedback forms, the events that we can do, invite them to interactive events, do for them workshop, advise them, give them follow-up gifts, coupons. So it's really building a relationship. So you have to talk to them like persons, like what's their motivation. Jessica, if you want to.
I just want to add, it depends usually when you want to engage with your customers, only depends if you want to retain the customers that you have or if you want to get new customers, because it's two different strategies. In the two ways, we use the same of what Christelle said, but it would be in another way when we engage with them. So if someone is already our customer, we try to see how to make like loyalty programs for them, give them like extra products, see what are their interests, and then upgrade our product and be able to engage. And for the new ones, it could be through social media to let them feel the experience of your product, and by feeling the experience, they're already engaging. And today, you know, you can put like a lot of questions in the social media and the reads and the videos where you can ask the people to engage on your social media platform if you're not doing anything physical. So this could be also a way to engage with the customers.
Also competitions, you can create digital competitions on social channels. For example, some brands, they do, when they want to launch their venture, they do competitions for graphic designers, okay? They do like a competition about asking a graphic designer to submit logos for them. And for example, the best logo will be picked for the venture and they would win something. So from the one hand, they have gained awareness by doing this competition. From the other hand, they have engaged with talents. This is just a simple example, but you can also do competitions, games, learning. So, okay, I have a question about to recommend other ways to promote brooms. So your customer don't use digital channels for sure. So you have to follow, so from Shamsa, the question. So you have to follow basically who your customer are and where they are available. You're saying that they could be at rural areas, but where at rural, would you put in shops, for example, to sell them. So simply follow where they are present. Okay, so it doesn't need to be on social media, have to be where they are physically present, or to which kind of shops they go to, and place your product in the shop. Maybe do a nice packaging about it, maybe put it as different display, or a nice banner promoting it. So it really depends on the customer, where they are available and what kind of media they are connected to. So you use those kind of channels.
Thanks, Crystal. I've seen that there have been a lot of questions, a lot of interest from the entrepreneurs. So this is positive. I think your session has been very interesting. And thanks to you, Crystal, and thanks to Jessica as well for delivering this session. Let me just recap on what's coming. Next Friday there will be the first coaching session, group coaching session with another expert, Daniel Anderson from Step & Stone. Same time as today. We will send you the invitation, the information by email for you to attend. The following Friday, the 8th, we will have the second training session with Crystal and Jessica as well. And this session will be focused, as you mentioned before, on partnership development. And it's good that you had several questions around this topic, so Crystal and Jessica will be able to let you know more about this subject in 2 weeks. In the meantime, and as mentioned during previous communications, we have created a group on LinkedIn for female entrepreneurs and the mentors as well of the BIC Africa Female Entrepreneurs program. So you can exchange information about yourselves, contacts, questions, doubts, and also disseminate the activity you are doing through our channels. And for this, I will ask you to drop your LinkedIn and Twitter profiles on the WhatsApp group we have created, so we can share with others information about your projects and your companies. And closely linked to this, sharing your activity, sharing your presence, sharing the information about your company, and also what we are doing within the framework of the BIC Africa Acceleration Program for Female Entrepreneurs. I would ask you to open your cameras for 1 minute so we can take a picture of all the group, and we can share on LinkedIn, on Twitter, Facebook, this activity we've been doing today, and show the others what you are doing with your projects. And you will be working during these oncoming weeks on the BIC Africa Acceleration Program for Female Entrepreneurs. We can see Happy Pats from Ethiopia. Hello, Cal. Joanna Pita from Angola. Ketura from Angola as well. Don't know if Elina, Shamsa, Saondra, the others can turn on their cameras. Gatolotra, Burham, Naima, Francis. Good to see my colleague Francis, also with Robert. Let's take a picture. Let's take another one. Smile. So we have now some nice pics of the entrepreneurs. Hi, David, also my colleague from BIC Africa. We will share this picture on LinkedIn, and we invite you to share with your contacts the post we will prepare. See you on Friday next week, and in the meantime, I hope you will have a very nice weekend and also nice mentoring sessions with the entrepreneurs. See you soon.
Good
Thanks.
luck, everyone, and look
Good luck.
forward to
Enjoy it.
meeting
See you next time. Thanks again. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.